Hi, Stubby Nails Club. Here are 3 reasons why your constipation client is not getting any results. Number 1, they are completely unaware of their daily habits that may be maladaptive for helping them with constipation. So what I mean by this is when you oftentimes have that subjective interview with your clients, how often do they really know their numbers? Like how much do they really drink in terms of like water? Do they always know how many times they go to the bathroom for pees and poops? Do they always look in the toilet at the integrity of their stools? My guess is probably not. Most of my clients are completely unaware of their bladder, bowel habits, their water intake, their diuretics intake, spicy citrus, and how it all relates together as it relates to constipation. And so one of the first things I'll do is I'll send them home with this tracker. And this is really all encompassing of the main things that contribute to constipation, right? So we've got a pain scale here. We've got how many hours did they sleep? Maybe they're stressed, maybe they're anxious about something, or they're moving soon. So there's lots of movement and stress related to that. It also includes what they could be eating. Is there enough fiber intake? Is there too much spicy? Are they consuming too many bladder irritants? And their water intake. Number 1 is how many times they've peed. Maybe they want to include the duration of their pee, or whether or not it felt empty or not, whether or not they had a leakage event. And then number 2s would represent poops. So did it feel fully evacuated? What color was it? Was it painful to pass? Did you feel fully evacuated? So this chart, having them fill this pelvic health tracker out, including their cycle day and the date, typically I'll give my clients 3 of these to fill out for 3 consecutive days, 2 on the weekday and 1 on the weekend. And it's really informative. Oftentimes my clients are already changing their habits because they see the difference, or they see the connection between what they're doing and why they've got the constipation symptoms. Number 2, you may not have performed an internal rectal examination on them yet. And so this one I find is often missed, especially with new pelvic health practitioners. So don't let this be you. All those muscles that are on the kind of the back half of the pelvic floor are so closely related to anal sphincter function. And we all know that classical like knees above hips presentation in response to puborectalis is so closely going to be connected to all those back-sided muscles, right? Near piriformis or the bottom half of levator ani. So palpating those muscles is not the same as palpating it internal vaginally. Sometimes your fingers simply won't reach, and you won't have as effective of a treatment than if you were to go in internal rectally. So this is strongly, strongly recommended. If your client has constipation, you may even be able to assess a rectocele and confirm that internal rectally. And so that would give your client a ton of answers and new things to work on, manage pressure management wise, and other ways to manage their rectocele to explain why there's constipation in the first place. So definitely, guys, do not miss your internal rectal assessment and treatment. Last but not least, point number 3, consistency is key. So for many of our clients, they may have suffered from persistent, maybe over 3 months long of this chronic constipation symptoms. And for this group of people, they may not see very, very obvious results in the beginning. And so keeping consistent is so key for these clients because the colon is slow to change. And if you don't see those results early on, those clients may be really discouraged to even continue trying that gastrocolic reflex or continue going to the bathroom, even though they don't quite feel a fecal urgency or they don't quite feel fully evacuated. Keep your clients motivated and on the right track because consistency is key when it comes to colon health, bowel health. So it does take time. This is where a lot of those coaching concepts you may have learned, or keeping your clients accountable through different forms of email communication. Maybe it's a Gantt chart that you guys can collectively see on a private platform, or maybe it's frequent check-ins with your clients, and keeping them encouraged is so key for this last piece. Some of the things that I do with my clients is I'll keep them accountable through frequent email messaging. I like to do Gantt charting with an anonymous name on Canva, because Canva is almost like a Google Doc as well, where we can both see patient progress through a calendar that we share. And so I'll oftentimes check in with my clients that way. But there's also apps like Embodia, where if they've completed their exercise, you'll be able to see like, oh, your patient is 80% compliant, or your patient is taking a break this week, but they were 100% compliant the last week. So you'll be able to see these stats in real time as your patient is updating their app.
Reason number 1. You are not talking about habit changes that promotes crafting a better stool. Besides the usual drinking enough water, having a balanced diet, it's also important to address physical activity level as well as stress with your clients. When we are physically active, we help to promote the movement in our bowel and improve the transit of stools. Physical activity also reduces stress, which is another factor that impacts our bowel health. As we all know, our digestive system is controlled by the parasympathetic nervous system. So when we are stressed or anxious, our bowels are less active, which increases the risk of being constipated. However, it's not necessarily a good thing to be performing prolonged high intensity levels of physical activity, as that might also put our body in a stress state. So it is important for us to help our clients find balance and choose the right exercises. Reason number 2, you forget to check breathing. I always check how my clients are breathing, and oftentimes I find that a lot of them are breathing from their upper chest, and some of them even have very stiff thoracic spine and rib cage that prevents them from taking a long and deep breath. When we are breathing properly, the movement created between our diaphragm and our pelvic floor actually helps to improve the movement of our bowels and improve transit of the stool. At the same time, this piston also helps to relax our pelvic floor muscles during defecation. And don't forget, diaphragmatic breath also helps to reduce stress and activate the parasympathetic nervous system. So check breathing in your clients, and if they are not already doing it, teach them how to properly breathe, which will help them craft a better stool and also help them with an easier evacuation. Reason number 3. You forgot to do an internal rectal exam. So like Jane has mentioned, it is crucial to do an internal rectal exam to be able to properly assess the pelvic floor muscle that's located in the posterior area around the anus to see if there are any tension that might be preventing an effective bowel evacuation. But also, for the clients that has had a chronic constipation, they might have what we call a megarectum, which just means that the rectum is very much stretched out because of chronic poop accumulation. Usually these clients have a decreased ability to sense stool in their rectum, and they're just not able to feel their urge the way it's supposed to. One thing that's great to do with these clients is to train their perception of stool with an intrarectal balloon so that they can redevelop the normal feeling of urge. You can also use the intrarectal balloon to test and train any dyssynergic defecation strategies that might be preventing effective bowel evacuation.
Hey Stubby Nails Club, we hope you enjoyed the content today. If you guys were interested in joining the Patreon group, we have a bonus video for you guys. It's our top 3 reasons why your hemorrhoids are not going away. And we'll be including one case study about a constipation case that we have seen in our past and how we clinically reasoned through it, what seemed to help the client the most. And we hope you guys go through the case study yourselves first before you look at the answer key and follow along with us. Okay, we hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, like and subscribe to our channel, the Stubby Nails Club, and we'll see you next time.